Thank you very much. Good afternoon. My name is Kevin Manning, as your speaker said, and I represent Sandy Hook Promise Foundation. I represent the National Youth Violence Prevention Program called Say Something. The Sandy Hook Promise Foundation was established in 2012 as the result of a horrific tragedy which occurred at Sandy Hook Elementary School. A very disturbed young man approached the elementary school and he took the lives of 20 elementary age school students and 6 of their teachers. So as a result of that tragedy, the Sandy Hook Promise Foundation was established from the surviving family members of the children and educators. So on that note, again, I'd like to extend a special acknowledgement to the students from District 6 who were involved in a recent shooting down south. So again, we want to thank you guys for being here, and we salute you and we commend you for being here and having the courage to come in spite of that tragedy. Let's give them a hand. I'm about to share with you, prior to going into the presentation, we're going to share a short video with you. And I want to warn you, the video can be described in 3 distinct ways. It's overtly violent, it is extremely graphic, okay? And it is absolutely amazing, okay? And I'm going to share with you why I consider it amazing.
Frightening headlines across America. 2 high school shootings in one day.
A high school sophomore being attacked by a junior Jew.
County 911.
Oh my God, my friend has been shot.
Okay, what was he shot with?
A shotgun.
How old is he?
He's 16.
A funeral is being held this morning in Florida for Rebecca Sedgwick. The 6th grader committed suicide last week. Authorities say she suffered nearly a year of cyberbullying.
They say he attacked another 14-year-old on Thursday as he was walking home from school.
A high school football favorite opens fire in a cafeteria, killing one and injuring others.
Supposedly he tweeted about it last night. No one took him serious. I think he said that he was going to bring a gun to school, and I think everyone just kind of blew it off like he was joking.
Minutes before firing his gun into a crowded cafeteria, sent family members a text message.
The latest crime involves Apex High, where a student is accused of tweeting a threat to shoot up the school.
Thank you, Al. We'll cue up the points. So, as I mentioned, the video is overtly violent, it's graphic, and amazing. So, you know, I guess an intelligent question, a fair question would be, well, Mr. Manning, why do you describe this video as amazing? It was horrible, okay? Well, for me, I find it quite amazing that students who were present and within hearing distance and visually saw written plans of the perpetrator made statements like this. These are actual statements by actual students who actually saw and heard and became acutely aware of the plans of the perpetrator. Well, I knew this would happen. he told me he was going to do this. Well, I saw his plans, but I didn't believe he would ever do this. She was all over Twitter threatening revenge. So what's amazing to me, ladies and gentlemen, is why didn't anyone say anything? You know, because I know if I heard that, I would say something. I would do something about it. I would intervene. I would do something, right? So that's amazing to me that they didn't say anything. So the next intelligent question is, well, why didn't they say something? Okay, so today you're going to learn how to say something effectively to protect yourself, your classmates, your school, and your community. And you're going to help to prevent suicide, threats, and other horrific occurrences on your school property. And this is how we're going to do it. We're going to do it with a simple, evidence-based system that works. And it works when you work it. When does the system work?
When you work it.
I hear some of you, but I need to hear all of you. When does the system work?
When you work it.
You gotta work it. You gotta work it. Okay? So it's a simple 1, 2, 3 system that works when you work it, right? And here's the system, all right? One of my favorite philosophers, Socrates, he said the best way to learn is to teach. So I'm gonna teach you the system, and then I want you to teach it back to me, okay? So step 1, look for warning signs, signals, and threats. What is step number 1?
Look for warning signs, signals, and threats.
Ooh, I hear some of you, but I need to hear all of you. What's step number 1?
Look for warning signs, signals, and threats.
Outstanding. Step number 2, act immediately and take it seriously. What's number 2?
Act immediately and take it seriously.
Very good. And number 3, say something to a trusted adult. What's number 3?
Say something to a trusted adult.
All right, now you give yourselves a hand right now. Go ahead. You deserve a hand because those of you who actively participate in doing this, you're going to save a life. You're going to keep your classmates safe. You're going to keep your school safe. You're going to keep your community safe. All right? And that deserves recognition. Now, speaking of safe, right here, right now, I don't see anyone coughing. I don't hear anyone sneezing. So that tells me that everyone here is relatively healthy, right? But that does not mean that you're immune from the flu. It doesn't mean that you cannot catch the common cold, right? Right here, right now, your campus is safe. Schools, generally speaking, relatively speaking, are safe. But it doesn't mean that they're immune from suicide, violence, and threats, all right? Now, here's the proof. We can do better, and the numbers don't lie. 749,000 students were victims of violence this past calendar year alone. 876,000 students were afraid of attack or harm at school. 250,000 students seriously committed or considered attempting suicide. 1 million students were threatened or injured with a weapon while on school property. Do you agree with me that this is unacceptable?
Yes.
Say unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
And I intend to do something about it.
And I intend to do something.
All right, very good. Now, 1 in 3 students report feeling sad or hopeless for over 2 weeks. Oh boy, that's a long time to be sad about something. 1 million students did not go to school for 1 or more days in the last 30 days because they felt unsafe at or on their way to school. 1 million students were harassed daily, threatened, or subject to other forms of cyberbullying. The young man who served as the catalyst for Sandy Hook Promise Foundation, you know what they found out when they did the research, when they did the active investigation? Since the 3rd grade, he was unmercifully bullied, picked on, singled out, right? He was an outcast. And you know, folks, people reach their tipping point out here. They reach their tipping point. And he said, you know what, no more. No one's gonna invalidate me again. No one's gonna pick on me again. No one's gonna shrink me again. So he went out and did something. And his form of creative problem solving took people's lives. Let me give you, if you know someone who's a bully, and we all know who's a bully here, if I ask you to raise your hand if you know and have seen someone pick on someone, raise your hand right now. The next time you see that bully picking on someone, you tell them this. Look here, I went to the Sandy Hook Promise Foundation seminar on youth violence prevention. You know what I learned? The #1 victim of mass shootings, they look for the people who picked on them first. They're looking for you. You who made them feel small. Maya Angelou, one of my favorite poets, she said this. She said, you know what? People will forget what you say. They'll even forget what you do. But you know what they won't forget? The way you made them feel. Right? Okay? So the #1 target of these mass shooters are the people, the individuals who was picking on them. Now there's an incentive to stop being a bully, right? So you tell them, all of you guys who raise your hands and say, yeah, I seen somebody picking on someone. I know who the bullies are here. You tell them, you better stop. You better cut that out right now. Does that make sense? Yeah. You think that'll help? Okay, very good. Okay, so, you know, it works when we're working, folks. The good news is there are steps, there are specific strategic steps that are simple, easy to use, that will help keep you safe, your classmates safe, your school safe, and your community safe. In 3 separate studies, researchers found that over 37% of threats of violence were sent electronically. What does that mean, electronically? Social media, the phone, texting, sure. 28% use social media. Most mass shootings are planned 6 months ahead of time. In nearly every case, warning signs were given. In nearly every case, warning signs were given. You know what the 6 months represents, ladies and gentlemen? A window of opportunity. The #1 word I want you to carry away with you is prevention. All of these shootings were preventable. Okay, 70% of people who complete suicide tell someone their plans, or they transmit some other kind of warning sign. You know, what does a rattlesnake do? How do you know that you're in trouble? He's rattling. What does a dog do when those hackles come up on the back of his coat, right? When he's showing his teeth, he's not smiling, folks. He's getting ready to do some real damage, right? So we know that what to look for in the warning signs. So if we teach you the simple cause and effect of looking for warning signs, signals, and threats. What's #2? I can hear some of you, but I need to hear all of you. What's #2? Okay, very good. And #3 is? Say something to a trusted. Okay, I'm going to tell you who those people are. Okay, if you do these things, that will translate into reducing violence, threats, and tragic consequences. It's going to correlate to creating a safer, healthier school and community. All right? So, how do we look for warning signs, signals, and threats? Step 1. Okay, what is a warning sign? It's thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that indicate significant change and that an individual may be in need of help. So what does that look like? How is that displayed by a classmate? What do you think they would do? Huh? How would they demonstrate a warning sign?
Make bad remarks.
Make bad remarks. Lack of hygiene, that's right, because they stop caring. That is an attribute, it's apathy. Apathy means you just don't care about nothing. You don't care about taking a shower, you don't care about anything, right? What is a warning sign? Withdrawal from others. Aggression. They're looking for trouble. They pick on people. They bully other people, or they're victims of bullying themselves, okay? They have an unforgiving spirit. They won't forgive and forget past wrongs. Teacher gave them a failing grade, they'll never let it go. Always come into the classroom with an attitude, you know? Significant personality change. They do a 360. Normally they're happy and they're talkative, And they're telling you about, hey, did you see Black Panther? Man, it was great. And they go to the same movie you did, and they don't have anything to say. They don't respond during the movie. They're just like a statue, right? They're not themselves. What is a warning sign? Gestures, actions that transmit information which can be either overt. What does overt mean? Obvious. Obvious. It's very apparent, right? Did you know that you can effectively communicate with your fellow man without saying a word? Did you know that body language is 93% of all human communication is body language? So they will telegraph, they will transmit their intentions, right? What is a warning sign? Giving away their possessions. I shared with the other group, let's say Bobby loves comic books, and he loves video games, and he loves Nike shoes, and he's got a pair of shoes for every pair of pants he owns. And now all of a sudden, Bobby is delivering them to you. And you're like, what's going on, Bobby? Bobby is in the midst of creating an exit plan from this world. And he may be wanting to take you with him, or someone you know, okay? All right? They are easily fascinated. They're fascinated with weapons. They're fascinated with writings and drawings about death. They're fascinated about stories of other school shootings, right? And, you know, they're role models. You got to watch who they aspire to be like, you know? What is a threat? Any communication directly or through a third party that has the intent to harm themselves or someone else. So somebody should do that here. If you hear students say this, don't take it lightly. Don't say, oh, that's just Bobby being Bobby. Well, Bobby being Bobby may be bad news for you and your school. All right? Someone should blow this place up. Life, this isn't